Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela, and we are married.
And bored.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
It is such a good, evening here. And we are ready to talk board games.
Let's do this.
All right. Christian, what are you snacking on or drinking as we get going here?
First things first, obey your thirst.
Absolutely.
That's something I learned in the 90s. I have a Scottsdale Blonde, which is my nickname for you.
I was going to say, I'm not from Scottsdale, so who is this blonde?
Nor blonde-ish.
I'm blonde-ish.
This is, I don't drink a lot of beer, but I'm having one tonight. It's a local brewery, local brew.
So if you go off the rails,
yeah, you'll know why.
I'm having. Thanks for asking, Christian.
Oh, hey, Ange. And also no candy tonight.
I just consumed a homemade cookie.
Okay.
So I have that nice chocolate cookie aftertaste in my mouth.
Yeah, you have one chocolate chip tooth as well.
Oh, well, good thing this is a televised show. I'm going to just keep it there.
Sure. The whole time I just stare across the table at it.
Yep. And I am drinking Diet Coke caffeine-free because I am crazy.
Yeah, and also it's tired but still want pop.
Exactly.
Or soda, wherever you're from.
So, that is how we're coming at you today. We hope that you're having a great day wherever you are.
That's right.
And we're excited to talk board games again. You know what? It's been a minute since we've talked about a single board game because we did kind of a intro to 2024. We did like the recap of the board game weekend. We did an awesome interview with Mythwind creator.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of good things, but just not.
But they've been different than the normal.
Yeah.
Lineup.
I think the last one was Fox Experiment.
2024 Game of the Year. 2023 Game. What year is it?
It is currently 2024.
Okay.
So it was your 2023 Game of the Year?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if people know that.
Well, if they have,
I said it a few times in a couple episodes.
If they don't know by now. All right, Christian. Why don't you tell me what is up?
Yeah, and you mentioned Mythwind in our previous episode. We hope you, if you haven't had a chance to listen, definitely go check it out. We had a great interview with one of the creators of Mythwind, and it was fun. It was fun to get some not insider info, but just kind of like the process of creating a board game.
Yeah,
getting it to Kickstarter. So I just thought it'd be fun to do like an update on their Kickstarter. So Mythwind, if you don't know what it is, it's one of those cozy branded games where you just go through life and you farm and you run an inn or you go hunting or you gather. Check it out. It is still on Kickstarter. The campaign is ended, but you can definitely maybe check out what you've been missed. But they're fully funded. They got over 920,000 Canadian dollars raised, which is great. So they have new content coming. It looks like it's scheduled. You know, it is Kickstarter, so take that with a grain of salt. Any crowdfunding campaign tends to take a while. I believe it's February of next year. So we're looking at about 10 months, and hopefully the game is in your mitts.
Yeah, in your Mythwind.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a really good interview, and I don't just say that because we're part of it. I think we're just there, and we ask the questions, but I really enjoyed the interview.
Yeah, one thing I was very surprised about is how much writing it took to make this game. Yeah. It seemed almost novel-esque to my untrained board game creator-ness.
I think it was.
Yeah, so there's just so much writing and like storytelling. And there is a lot in this game in particular. Maybe not other games, but this one definitely has more than others. So that was a very eye-opening tidbit that I learned from the interview. So it was great.
Absolutely. Okay. What's up with me?
What is up with you? I feel like I don't even know who you are.
Is it because of my chocolate chip tooth?
It's your chocolate chip tooth and your Scottsdale Blonde.
Okay, tell me where the chocolate is.
There's no chocolate chip tooth. I was just
kidding. He was making fun of me. All right. So, recently we have been trying to sell board games in a variety of ways.
I was not aware of this.
They have gone through the approval of the manager here.
Oh, hey, I like that title.
Yeah, I'll give you manager title. I'm CEO.
Oh, okay.
So we have, and by recently, I mean like over the past 6 months, I think we have always had pretty good luck with, is it a Facebook group?
Yeah, it's a local Facebook group in Phoenix.
Okay. So posting things on there and, getting bites. And I think we've, never done like a lot at a time, but.
No, I think the most we did once was like 15.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot for for people who have normal board game collections.
Right. No, we don't have a normal board game collection. And then recently, so probably like 3-4 months ago, you put up another stack of games.
Yeah, it was about 10. Nothing crazy.
I don't think did we get any bites?
I don't think we got any bites. We got a couple that reached out and I responded, and then it was just kind of dead in the water there.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't work. They lived too far away, or like, can you hold it till this day? And I was like, I'm not willing to do that. Sorry.
Yeah. And in between maybe 6 months and the 4 months, we went to our local game store and sold some games.
We did.
Because I don't know, I didn't see it the last time we were there, but they used to at least have a used section.
Yeah, I think it was just for a hot minute that they did a used section, which was great.
Yeah.
Made some store credit money and
totally
it worked out.
So, I mean, we've done a few things. I feel like we're kind of stuck. We have some games that we know are worth a lot, but they're just not for us.
Sure.
We know that they're good games. They're just not for us. And so we've got a collector's edition of one game, and we've got a game with multiple expansions.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a game that, it has been opened because I think you punched out the stuff for it, but would never been played.
Never played it.
So like all the cards haven't been shuffled. Like everything's new.
I think the cards are still like in the wrap.
Oh, okay.
If there's cards, we haven't played it, so I have no idea what's in it.
Right. So we've got some good games, and we take really good care of our games for the most part. So I am just kind of miffed by this, like, no one wanting to buy games. So we recently had a yard sale.
We did.
And I mean, like yesterday. And, it kind of made me proud, but it also kind of made me sad. There is this, I say young, but he was probably like in his 20s.
Okay.
So he came up and he saw the Drax Marvel Champions pack on our table for $1. And he was like, oh my gosh.
Was he excited?
And I kind of came up to him and I was like, do you play Marvel Champions? And he's like, yeah, I play. This is a really good deal. And I was like, yes, it is. And so I kind of told him the story about how, like we have every pack and how we got that extra. And I was like, it's your gain. And he walked off like, I think he was with his mom and his grandma.
Okay.
And he was like, I can't believe I got this for $1.
For $1.
And it's just like, yeah, see, some people know how good of a deal we're giving people.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're kind of, I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking or telling, but I just feel down about selling board games these days.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if it gets to garage sale status, then you're just looking to get rid of it.
Right.
Like I like when you do it on Facebook, I want to get some money out of it because it's a very like targeted market when you're in those groups. So like people will know that like a Drax, for example, one of them that we're trying to sell was Blood Rage. And I got a lot of communication from Blood Rage, but it just never went anywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of don't want to sell it. Probably should. We don't play it.
Right.
And then it ended up going on the garage sale for probably way less than somebody in the board game world would pay for a used copy.
Right.
But
I mean, it went to a good home.
It just comes with the territory of garage sales. Everyone's looking for that amazing deal. You can't really you're not going to make money at a garage sale. No. But you're also not going to recuperate as much either.
Right. So I guess we're kind of wondering, I don't know, how do you sell your games? Do you feel like it's kind of stagnant right now for you? Have you tried selling games? I would just like to know, because I feel kind of down and out about it.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe it got too big too fast and everybody else is catching up.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there's board games are everywhere for those who know. And so they've gotten the ones they want. And then now it's hard to get rid of the ones they don't want because they realize that, well, nobody wants them because they weren't good or not popular. I don't know.
And we're at the point where I kind of feel like we're trying to keep games that we actually will play.
Yeah.
And not just, oh, that's a great game. And it's like, well, but if it's, 3+ players, or if it's like this party game we'll never get to the table, we have to let it go.
Sure.
So it's kind of sad. But
we did have one success of selling something, and I wanted to talk about this too.
Oh, what was it?
My eBay adventure.
Oh, yes.
So
I think you talked about it.
Did I? Star Wars Unlimited released about a month ago now, maybe even longer than that. I honestly don't remember. And it was everywhere. And I dived. It's a great word. I dove in. I bought, the starter set, a box. Got to get upgraded components, of course.
Of course.
And I was lucky enough to get a showcase, which, for those who don't know, showcase is like the highest rarity of card you can get. And so like leaders in the game are very important. That is kind of like determines what deck you can play and how it's going to play. And there are only, don't quote me on this, I'll say 12, but there might be more than that. 12 leaders.
Okay.
And so if you get a showcase, it's super rare. It's like one in a lot of cases.
Check the math on that.
Yeah, so the math is sound.
Okay.
And I got a Sabine Wren showcase, and I thought it was very cool. And so like the very first weekend I got it, I threw it up on eBay because I got the Sabine showcase, and then I got like 2 regular Sabines.
Oh,
and so I was like, this is so cool, but I could buy a ton more cards if I sell it. Anyways, I put it up for too much. It didn't sell. And then I lowered it a little bit. It finally did sell. So like for one card, I made over $200, which is crazy to me. And then
buy more Star Wars Unlimited.
And then to come to find out that the supply from Fantasy Flight is like so low that now card prices are going back up again. Oh. So if I hadn't have sold it, I maybe could have made twice what I did. Which is crazy to me that someone would pay that for a card. But, Pokemon is just wild right now. I got a stack of basketball cards behind me they're not good cards, but like I feel like sports cards and cards in general are kind of making a comeback in a weird way. And so, yeah, it was just kind of a fun adventure.
Yeah.
And if you don't remember from like last fall too, we did Lorcana, and I had some error cards that I sold on eBay as well for like $120 each, which was, it's fun, and it makes you want to go and buy more cards.
Yes.
So that's the problem that I don't know if it's like gambling. Is that the itch that it's scratching, or treasure hunting? Maybe I'm a pirate.
It is.
Is that what it is?
Yep. You're a pirate.
I think there'll probably be an episode on the game as I play it more. I went to a release, played it, and then I haven't even made my own decks and tried to play it further than that. Mm-hmm. I just looked at the cards, focused on the eBay thing, and then we'll see what happens next.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of a tangent to selling stuff, but it was at least one success.
Hey, that was a big success.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so when we come back, we are going to be talking about Apiary.
Apiary?
Yes.
What's that? All right, Apiary. Apiary is a fun game.
Yeah, well, we're not to that part
Well, I'm
yet.
just going to start off and just say it is a fun game. It's by Stonemaier.
Yes, it is.
Which, if I remember, it was kind of a surprise release in a way.
It came quickly.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, here's Apiary. If you order it today, it'll ship in 3 months,
And we're like, wait, you mean 3 years and 3 months? Because that's what we're used to.
Which was great. It was so good to like pre-order a game and get it within the same calendar year.
I mean, can you imagine?
What are the odds? So Apiary is it's a great worker placement game from 1 to 5 players by Stonemaier. Ange, why don't you finish it up?
Oh, you're just going to start and then leave me hanging? Okay, so this is like, imagine the future and humans are gone.
What?
And we are, now we are in the realm and reign of space bees.
Yeah, because
Bzzz.
as evolution naturally takes its course,
Yes, bees.
Bees overcome everything
Yes.
and go to space.
Absolutely, space bees. In the game, players are going to take on the role of different bee factions, trying to maximize your hive with different workers, farms, abilities, structures, and you're trying to hibernate at the right time in order to amass the most victory points.
Okay.
And of course, you want the queen's favor. That'll give you some victory points.
The queen bee.
It's all about the queen bee.
Beyonce herself.
Yep.
I don't know if I can say that on my ear, but
why?
Beyonce.
You can't say her name?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
Sorry, Jay-Z.
We're not degrading her. Oh man. Okay. So yeah, let's jump right in.
Yeah.
Do you have anything more to describe?
Well, I was just gonna say the word apiary, if you don't know, I believe is like the study of bees.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're an apiarist.
Sure. What was that word?
Apiarist.
An apiary.
I think apiary is like a colony of bees. So
yep.
That's where the word comes from.
We're all about just general knowledge here.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And also maybe general knowledge made up on the spot.
Yeah. Don't trust anything we say that's not about board games.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Beyonce.
So let's start off with setup and teardown.
Yeah. I'll jump into this one. Setup and teardown. There's a lot going on in this. It depends on how many people are playing. It's got a double-sided board, which is not super confusing, but the amount of times that we've set up for 3 players and been like, oh crap, we have 4, and then we have to flip it over, has been no less than about 2 times. But it is
it's just ruining our life.
It is memorable to have to do that. So this is an average thing. There are cards, there are tiles you got to set up, there are more tiles that you got to set up. There's some tiles that go in a different area. There's some tiles that go everywhere. And they're all different shaped, which is great. But they all have their place on the board. Some of them don't have a place on the board, which, by the way,
different shaped.
Different shapes. Well, so like you have the hex tiles, and then you have the square tiles for exploring, and then you have the song or dance tiles that go on the bottom.
Those are oval.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So there are a bunch of different tiles and little pieces that get placed on the board. It takes, I would say, to get a game ready to go, I'd say 10 minutes most. But then you're good to go. Yeah.
It helps if people can set up their own play area and know like what they're doing.
Yeah, everyone has a play mat too, so there's that area too that you get to set up a little bit with your faction. But that's not super confusing. It's just one little tile that you place.
Yeah. You know what I hate is shuffling the hex tiles. And this is not unique to this game. There's other games where you have to shuffle
the cardboard
tiles. And I hate it. I just hate it because it's so clunky and time consuming, and it's not like shuffling cards. Because I feel like that can go fast and it's satisfying to hear the brrr.
Yeah.
But clunky cardboard tiles, it's like, this chunk needs to go
it's like,
under this chunk.
Yeah, and you can't do, it's hard to do like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Yeah, I don't
you do
have
like 4, 3, 4, 3, and it's like, did you really mess it up that much?
I don't know. But that is just a little pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, this game too, though, it does have its own insert and everything does have its place. So that is very nice. So whether you're taking it out or putting it back, there is a spot for everything. So it's not just a dump and play or, type of game.
Yes.
So every little hex tile has a spot. There's the square tile area. There is a lot of chits in chat, like a lot of pieces of different resources that those ones don't really have a spot. So that's my only gripe is there's just a big hole
for resources.
For resources.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing that makes it a little annoying, but it did come with plenty of baggies to put everything in. So
yeah,
you guys are all used to that. You know how that works.
And that brings us to our new second point, which is like components. What does it come with? What's good? What's bad? So you hit most of it.
Yeah, I did.
The only thing I would add is that the main bee meeples are super cool.
Yes.
And then the hibernating bees are just, thick cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wanted more there.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you explain what the bees are and what does make them so unique to this game? They are bee meeples with a dice in the middle, if that makes sense, like a numbered cube with bee head and butt coming out of two sides.
Yeah. So there's 4 different sides to the bee. So it can rest with the 1 facing up, the 2 facing up, the 3 facing up, or the 4.
Yeah, and that tells you how strong your play is. You get 2 power for placing a number 2 bee. Yes.
So that little part in the middle of the bee is, I think it's rectangular. It's not it's not exactly cubed.
Well, no.
But you're not rolling the bees.
No. It's just to denote how strong it is.
Yes. So it's really cool. I think they're made well. I like the colors. They're a little muted and vintagey looking.
Yeah, it's like normal colors, red, yellow, blue, green, but it's just off.
Yes. But the hibernating bees. So once your bee gets in worker placement games, you go to a different location or whatever. And then usually in a worker placement game, once someone has taken up that location or all the spots at the location are taken up, you can't go there until the next whatever round when things are cleared. But in this game, you can, and that's the main mechanism, is you're bumping people off their spot.
Yep.
So once you bump a bee that's a 4 power, it hibernates. Now, the hibernating bees are just cardboard. And I just wanted them to be
more trophy-esque.
Yeah, or just, they didn't need to be bigger necessarily, but if the cardboard was just
chunkier.
Resin, or if it was metal.
Okay.
Even. I feel like that would have been, and the resources are, well made. They're there's a combination of resin versus wooden resources.
Yep.
So I feel like everything is good quality, and I'm just being super picky about the hibernating bees.
Yeah, the hibernating bees are what kind of drives the game. It denotes when the game is over and what bonus points at the end of the game you may get. And so I feel like they should be a little bit more have more substance to them than just a weird cardboard token.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, everything else is pretty standard. There's nothing wild. There's no metal coins. There's no metal. I don't think there's any upgrades available. Maybe there is. There's a really cool bee mothership token that moves around space. And that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one.
Exploration action.
Yeah, and it's just a big fat bee spaceship.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so how accessible is learning to play?
Learning to play is, I would say this one is above average on the hard side.
Oh, interesting.
I would say it's just right of average.
Okay.
So just a little towards hard, but closer to average, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I feel like worker placement games are pretty easy to learn because you just put your bee on a spot, or your token, whatever game you're playing, on a spot that you want to do the action of.
Mm-hmm.
This one throws a couple wrenches in the way, like Angela said, where you can bump other bees. The power of your bee denotes where you can go or or how many actions you get to do.
Yeah. I guess as you're talking, I'm kind of changing my opinion. I was thinking like, this is kind of like if anyone's played a worker placement game before, this is easy. But I did teach this one at our game weekend back in February. And I don't feel like it went well. I don't feel like anyone was super confused.
No.
But I do think it took a while for people to get ready to go.
Yes.
So maybe it is a little bit to the right of, I'm thinking of my scale in my head, a little bit harder to learn than just average. But I think we'll get to this later, but I feel like there's a good player aid and rule book that will help you.
Well, yeah, I think that definitely adds to the accessibility. Like if it has great, a tutorial or just like a reference of what icons do, it helps a lot. I think one of the hardest concepts in this is beyond the worker placement. Once you get that down, that starts making sense. And you're like, okay, if I go here, I can do this. If I go here, I can do this. That starts making sense. But then it's when you like either retire a bee or hibernate a bee, or you can do a thing called, I believe it's called like retrieve.
Yeah.
If you have all of your bees out and you don't have any more to place, you retrieve, and then it activates stuff in your own player board, which is like your little colony that you've been building by buying farms, buying science tokens, buying cards and planting plants. Like there's a lot of elements going on in front of you that when you retrieve trigger.
Yeah. So
and knowing that sequence can get confusing.
Right. And I think for like people that are used to Everdell, let's say.
Okay.
It's a good worker placement game. People, you can think of it as like the end of season, right? And so, but unlike Everdell, people can control how much and if and when everyone's end of season, quote unquote, or retrieval is totally independent of everyone else's.
Yeah, I could retrieve turn 2 if I wanted to.
Yes. Now, it might not be advantageous to you, but it's just like, it's not like, oh, this is the end of the season and now everyone counts their board points and then we do another season. This game doesn't work like that. You can retrieve never, you can retrieve a lot, or you can retrieve 4 times.
How would it work for never?
Well, you would have to keep getting bumped.
So you just get bumped, and your bee would come back to you. And then when you get bumped, we should talk about this after, your bee upgrades. Right. So it goes up a level.
Right. And if you have no bees to place, there is like a rule mechanism.
You get one for free. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about fun factor now, which Christian started off with a spoiler.
It's fun. I said it. I mean...
And maybe in this section we dive into
we have to say why.
Immersive experience.
Sure.
Okay.
It's fun.
Okay. Do you have any? Would you like to elaborate on that?
No.
Okay.
I did. Let's go to the next one. So fun. So I famously am very bad at worker placement games compared to my co-host here, the Scottsdale Blonde.
The CEO.
I don't like them. I'm not good at them. It's just something that does not work well with the way I like to play games. This one follows that same direction.
I thought you were going to say, this is the exception.
No, it's not the exception.
Okay.
But what I don't like about most worker placement games is it can get especially in 2-player, which you and I, we play games together, 2 players.
Yes, we do.
It can get very cutthroaty. And so, I think of, Dune Imperium, which somewhere in there is a great game. It's just not for me.
It's a fantastic
game. I hate it. And so, when I'm like, you know what? All I need in Dune is I just need water. That's all I need. And then Angela's like, well, it's my turn because I killed you with 700 soldiers last round. I'm going to go and take water. And I'm just like, son of a bee. Now I can't get water, so Paul Atreides can't do his Mohaba Dibdim thing. And that's from Dune.
Okay, yeah. I figured, there's some reference.
So, like, it can get very cutthroat. This one is, you're given a little bit more grace because you can just bump a bee off its spot. Mm-hmm. If you want to go explore those planets, boom. Put your bee on there and explore the planet. Love it. If you want to buy a farm, oh my gosh. Bump your opponent off. Get out of here, you dumb red bee. It's Blue's turn.
Yep.
And then you can buy your farms. So I do like that a lot. So that makes it a little bit more easy for me to come to the table and play this type of worker placement game. So that's why I said it's fun.
Okay.
For me.
Do you think it's immersive?
I don't think it's super immersive. I think there's no like grand story, like like how we haven't played it, but how I think Mythwind would be, right? Like you're just like there's this overarching mystery, and you're going through it, Mansions of Madness style, whatever. But it does do a good job of like each bee. It does you play the colony well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It just reminded me of Bug's Life.
Okay.
There's only one bug in this game. It's a bee.
It's bees.
I'm not super into the space bee theme.
It's so random. It could just be regular bees and it'd still be cool.
Yeah, that would actually be a little bit better for me.
Space bees.
Just the immersive part. I'm not saying any mechanic or whatever.
Well, like if it was, so side note.
Okay.
If it were regular bees,
yeah.
What would you be, instead of exploring space and going to different planets for resources, what would you be going to?
You're exploring the neighborhood, man.
Or like flowers, like different flowers?
Sure.
Okay. Just curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just curious. Because everything else is so like, there's honey and there's honeycombs and like.
Right.
But it's in space.
So all the things Christian talked about overcoming are things that I like. It's fun for a planner, this game. I like trying to map out like how to effectively play whatever my faction's good at. So you'll start with like a built-in ability.
Yeah, there's like what? Probably 20 factions. There's quite a few.
Yeah.
And they're not game altering.
No.
But it's just like, hey, this one's really good at gathering water, so I'll get a lot of water.
And I like to try to, this one wants me to expand my hive a lot. Or this one wants me to get a lot of recruitment bee. Like they want me to recruit a bunch of bees to my hive. Or this one wants me to get a bunch of structures. I think that that's cool. I try to play to whatever the strategy is. I like planning that out. I think that it's not really immersive. The bee meeples we talked about, those are great. The art is cool if you like space bees. But
coming soon to a theater near you.
I guess there are a lot of hex tiles, reminiscent of the honeycomb.
The hive.
And it does remind me of A Bug's Life where like everyone has a job in the you're a farmer bee.
When was the last time you watched Bug's Life?
Watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, like
when it came out in 1999?
No, probably like 8 years ago.
Okay. Fun fact, our kids are, till this day, like deathly afraid of Bug's Life because when they were littler, they saw a picture of the cricket or the grasshopper bad guy. Uh-huh. And they were young enough that they got legit scared of this picture, and they will still. Well, maybe I think. Did Ben watch it?
I think he watched it at school.
He watched it at school.
Yeah.
And our 10-year-old still won't watch it.
Yeah, but she is casual, like cool about it. Like, she truly doesn't want to watch it.
She's scared of that dumb grasshopper.
Hey, everybody has their thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Last but not least. Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Yes. I think we have played a majority, or I should say, of all the Stonemaier games that we have, it has definitely been worth it. Like, they're all worth it, the ones that we have purchased, if that makes sense. We haven't regretted a purchase. That is what I'm trying to say. From Stonemaier. So, because it was just kind of like a wild card purchase, too, because it came out of nowhere, space bees, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
And then it worked out that turned out to be one of my favorite worker placement games because of what I said earlier.
Yeah.
So I do not dread playing this game. I would play this game over Viticulture, which is another Stonemaier game.
Yep.
And definitely over Dune Imperium, which I mentioned as well in this show. It's just, I don't know. I'm okay losing this one.
Okay.
Other ones, I lose bad.
Yeah.
I'll lose bad in this one, and it just doesn't seem as...
Yeah, I mean, I
gut-wrenching.
like the player count too with the replayability. I feel like I haven't tried the solo mode, but I like that there is a solo mode.
Oh yeah, with him, there's always one.
Right, and I like that it goes up to 5.
5 is good.
Because you need those games that go beyond 4.
Yeah, we played it. I played it with 5 once. You played it with 5 at the game retreat, and it definitely takes a lot longer.
Yes.
Because with all worker placement games, there's always somebody going like, okay, what's the most optimal play?
Oh, well, I was going to go there. Now I have to rethink my whole
It's like, no, you don't, though, because you just bump. And then they go, oh, yeah, I forgot. It's turn 7, dude. You should remember.
And I like that the 2-player experience isn't lacking, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't played it 2-player in a while. There's no, like, third-party, computer bee, right? Like, I don't remember that. It's just, you just play.
I think there's, it's a different side of the board.
Yeah, there's less places to go.
Yeah. Okay, so when we come back, we are going to talk about some thoughts or ideas that surfaced while playing this game.
Space bees. They surface.
We're going to talk about space bees?
I think so. What's up, bee people?
All right, so tell me how you think the world gets to space bees.
How the world gets to space bees? Okay, here's what's happening. Bees in real life, everyone is, I think, on the same page in saying that the bee population is dwindling. But I will say they aren't, because they are slowly going underground and developing a new society where they can evolve on their own away from human interaction, make their own civilization, start the industrial bee revolution, where they have bee cars and bee planes. And then eventually you get to bee space vehicles. And then I don't know what's going to happen to the humans, but eventually the bees just come out from hibernation. Like cicadas every 7 years, where they come out of the ground, and then all summer they just buzz consistently all summer at the nighttime. Anyways, bees going into space. They have their honey fuel, which they've made the honey be able to power all of their stuff. And they started an education system where they are able to train other bees to do the things, and then they start talking in bee languages, and then they just leave.
Great.
How do you think?
How big are these bees?
So that's the thing. They're just regular bee size. And so like all the little spaceships are the size of a pop can.
Oh, got it. Okay.
They didn't get any bigger or grow. They're not like anamorphic. They're just regular bee size.
And what year about?
I would say 2029.
Oh, okay.
It's coming.
So the near future.
Yes.
All right.
If you've seen Last of Us, just think of Last of Us. Instead of zombies, it's just bees.
Okay. So really, this is not what we were going to talk about. But you had a very involved explanation.
I had my eyes closed and everything. I had the timeline.
I was watching you.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
No, but okay. So Angela, this is something that's very near and dear to your heart, because
it is.
As we purchase new games, you are, and we sit down to learn new games, you are the rule book reader. It just works better that way. I stumble through my words when they are right in front of me and trying to read them out loud. And so it's just easier to have you do that. Mm-hmm. And so I don't get looks of like, what did you just say?
I don't look at you.
And
like
I go,
that.
I don't know. I just read it. And then I go, oh no, I read it wrong.
So we wanted to talk about rule books, but not like what you think.
What did they think?
They think the way it's like mapped out.
I'm thinking like the proper way to teach a game in a rule book? No.
I'm thinking of the actual rule book material.
So guys, paper is what we're talking about.
The Stonemaier rule books, if you know, you know.
Yeah, okay.
The linen feel of these pages.
Yep.
I love it.
It's next level. I think an advanced bee colony could probably pull this off.
Okay, I know you're kidding, but I am not. I love this like linen texture. I mean, if I could give heart eye emojis through the podcast right now.
Well, you're doing it.
I'm doing
Their
it.
cards also have that feel too. Like I'm thinking like Wingspan. They have like that little that feel as well. It's just like another level of luxuriousness.
It is. And I just wanted to take, a few minutes to appreciate how much that makes a difference for me.
Okay.
And their player aid.
Yeah, we should talk about player aids because I feel like this is a trend that's going around in board games where they have the rule book, maybe a rules reference, but then they just have these like mini player aids that you just pass out to everybody.
Yes. Love it. I love how it's like on your turn, you can A, go to a place, or B, retrieve. That's it. End of game. Here's what you do.
Here's all the crap.
Yeah. And then it's just, I don't know, it just makes it so easy so that if you play it and then you put it away for 4 months, so like you didn't forget it, but you kind of like, okay, what again? And then that just helps you jump back in without rereading the whole rule book. And I feel like if you have specific questions, of course you go to the rule book, but it just prevents you trying to flip through things all the time. You can be like, oh, look at your player aid. This one doesn't have like super detailed iconography. Fort by Leader Games.
Yeah, well, they have like the literal giant card.
They have a giant card of player aid. A really good player aid is so great.
I think Ahoy, Leader Games' other game, they have little player aids that are actually pretty good for that game, just because everybody plays differently. But this one's good. This one just kind of breaks down your turn. And like Angela said, there's always somebody who's just like, well, how do I win? It's like, well, it's on your card, dude. Just read it. You get the most points, dog. It's like any other sport.
How you get the most points, though, that is up to you.
And also don't ask me because I will lose by double digits. But you'll enjoy yourself. I'll love every minute of it with my bee colony.
All right, so that's about it. But I just wanted to appreciate the linen rulebook. Please let me know how you feel about the rulebook texture. I'm serious. Christian's laughing, and I feel like people are going to think that I'm being ironic.
No, I know you like it. It's funny.
I need people to affirm this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're not alone.
I'm not alone.
I think there's a lot of papyrus lovers and paper people out there.
Paper people.
That's who the bees defeated.
The paper people.
There was the paper people.
All right, guys. Let us wrap this up.
Yeah, let's do it. This is a short one today, but you know what? We're back. We're just busting these bee games out. And
short. It's like been 45 minutes.
Oh, I feel like we talked for like 25.
Christian, no. You've got to learn your lesson here. We don't talk for that short amount of time.
That's probably true. All right, Ange. So let's end the show like we end the show every time and just talk about a couple things that are going on outside of board games. I have a good idea about what you're going to say tonight, but what is bringing you joy outside the world of board games?
I would like to... I was going to change it up so that you would be shocked, but I can't.
Because you don't know, because it's truly this.
It is a good true crime show. I have been kind of on a 2020 Dateline documentary kick.
This has been going on for like a year, though.
Yeah, but like...
It's resurfaced as of late.
Yeah. Recently, though, it has like infiltrated like my workout time and like everything. I hate the rowing machine.
I'm glad I bought it.
No, let me explain. We don't have gym memberships. Okay.
No.
So we have a rowing machine, Amazon Prime Day, and I hate it. I just like, I would stare at the wall and be like, oh, it's been 10 minutes. And I would look down and it's like a minute and a half. So then I discovered that you put the rower in front of the TV.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a rookie mistake, but what do we know?
And then
we don't have gym memberships.
No, we don't know. We don't know what we're doing. And then you watch a crime show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, boom, 30 minutes have gone by.
Okay.
And you're sweating.
Yeah, just buckets.
Yeah, and it's wonderful.
One time I had to get the mop up when you were done because there's just water everywhere. Yeah. After a Dateline show about college murders.
Stop it.
No, not really. I feel that with the rowing machine. I think I have picked the wrong shows to watch. I watched this one on Apple TV and it was just so boring. I was like, I can row for 40 minutes. Like it's just like and it was supposed to be about space and aliens, and I was like, this is dumb. And I don't want
Space bees?
It was about space bees. That's what it was. We never saw the alien, at least so far, so it could be space bees.
It's true.
Holy crap. That's true. And the other one, ironically, was about aliens, but it was a cartoon, Solar Opposites. And normally when I watch that, I laugh. But as I was rowing, I was like, this is the stupidest show I've ever seen.
I don't think you can watch a comedy.
Because because nothing is funny going on with your body.
Yeah.
So what show should I row to if I row?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. I'm asking you. You know what I like. I like dumb stuff, but...
Well, yeah, I think you gotta watch something, like, intriguing.
Okay.
Watch something that has subtitles.
So I have to read it?
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Well, I'm just saying it'll keep your eyes...
On the prize?
Eyes glued on the TV.
Okay. All right. I'll see what I can do.
Watch a good true crime.
I don't want to.
Oh, Christian.
I get caught up from you.
Yeah.
Hey, it's True Crime Hour. I need to fill you in on what's going on.
I don't do that. All right, everybody. Well, did you say what was
No,
bringing you joy?
I'd be happy to answer the question. Thanks for asking.
Well, you tangented about your rowing machine experience.
I'm just joining the conversation.
It's true, you are.
There's two hosts.
What is bringing you joy outside of board games?
I think I'm good for today. Thanks, Ange.
Shut up.
No, so one thing that's bringing me joy is I don't know how to say this.
Are you breaking up with me?
No.
Oh.
I like to buy old things.
Yes.
Yes. No, anyway, so like every once in a while, like, okay, I don't know how to start this story. I like toys, and toys I had when I was a kid, and toys that are from before my time. So I have a collection of like vintage Star Wars toys from like 1977, 1980, which are super dope. You can turn around right here and look at them if you want, Angela. They're on the shelf.
Oh, I thought you were directing everyone else.
They're back there. You can see Jabba the Hutt. There's a dewback. The collection is primo. I don't think I've ever said that word before. It's that Scottsdale blonde is really getting to me.
Yes.
Anyway, so I randomly searched OfferUp and I found I don't want to say Holy Grail, but it was like a Grail piece. Yeah. I found a boxed mask vehicle. And so if you don't know what Mask is, it's an 80s toy line where they were like a mix between G.I. Joe and Transformers. And so you had the guys who would go in the cars, and a car would turn into a jet, or a jet would turn into a helicopter, a Jeep would turn into a boat. That kind of thing. I loved it, still love it. Anyways, I found a good deal, and I found a boxed version of it. And I went and drove, 20 minutes away from here.
Yeah. And
picked it up, and it's in really good condition. So I was very excited to find that. And it kind of it makes me want to get more.
Yeah. Tell about just a quick little 2-3 sentences about the literal white glove service you got.
I got white glove service from this guy, my boy Dan. He pulled up to us in the Fry's parking lot in Chandler, Arizona. And he's like, "Hey, yeah, no, I got the vehicle here for you. Let me just get the table." And I was like, "I didn't buy a table from you. I came here for a 1987 action figure." That was going on in my head. And he put on gloves, and then he set up like a little TV tray table as he opened up his passenger door, and then he pulled out the item that I bought. And he was like white glove opening it, showing me all the insides with the cardboard and the inserts and the instructions. And he's like, "Is this good? Like, do you want to look through it?" I was like, "No, like I'm good. Like I trust you, and I know what should be in here, and I see it all. So let's bag it up and go." He's like, "Yeah, all right, cool." And then he like put it back together really nicely, took his gloves off, and like, or first he handed it to me with the gloves on. So it's like, yeah, it was crazy. I'd never had that happen before. Usually, you know, you do an offer up or Craigslist little exchange, and it's just like, I bought an old GameCube from a lady in the valley. I don't know, like 2 years ago, and she just came to my car window with a grocery bag.
Well, yeah,
and she's like, "Here it is. Do you want to look at it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll look at it quick." She's like, "Everything good?" And I was like, "Yep." And then I just drove away.
Well, that's kind of how you do it. And just to clarify for those listeners, when Christian started off and said, "My boy Dan," he did not know this gentleman.
Oh, no, I don't know. We're best friends now.
But he just was super impressed by the white glove.
Yeah,
service.
I had never, had you guys ever experienced something like that? He definitely has he sells stuff online. He had that, you know, vibe because he did something unique. And like, I'm going to remember it.
Absolutely.
You know, so... Anyways, if you're a Mask fan, definitely hit me up. I will talk to you all day about it. If you have a collection that you're willing to get rid of, also hit me up. I'm looking for box stuff and some newer split second stuff. And if you know what that is, talk to me.
Okay. Hey, Christian, what you reading?
What am I reading? You want to know a fun fact?
What?
I started a new book today.
This is
on
great
this
timing.
day. So 2024 reading challenge. I am over halfway through my 2024 reading challenge because I have a measly 15 books.
That's great.
So I'm at 9.
I think that's great.
I think that is great. I'm doing a very good job. But I also discovered through the year, I have watched Reacher on Amazon Prime, which is basically like a new version of 24.
Okay.
So it's just he's an ex-army guy. He is a giant beast. And he just goes around the country and solves mysteries. And each season is just a new thing. It's kind of like 24. There's no carrying over. And so I'm discovering that these books, because the show is based off books, they're just like that. Oddly enough, books are like the show. And I started a new Reacher book. I don't know what it's called. I've read like 3 of them this year because they are just so quick. And it's just like watching a season of 24 to me. And I loved that show a few years ago.
That's great.
I think it's called like a dad action TV show, which fits because
really? Is that what they call
there's
it?
There's some like, you know, like the word boomer is kind of like derogatory to some people. Mm-hmm. There's like it's like a punch in the gut. Like, oh, you like dad action shows. It's like, oh okay.
Oh,
maybe I do.
Hey, own it.
So Reacher, it's my 3rd one that I've started.
Great.
It's good. I enjoy it. How about you?
I don't watch Reacher.
I know, but do you read books?
I do read books.
Are you 50% through your reading challenge?
I am 9 or 10 books ahead of schedule.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well, you're not 50. Your schedule is like 110.
Yeah, 100 books is my schedule.
Wow. I'm doing 15% of that.
Currently I am listening to...
Oh, yeah, we have 2. That's right.
A memoir, a nonfiction called The Many Lives of Mama Love. I would recommend it. It is great, equal parts hilarious but poignant. It's suburban white woman that finds herself addicted to heroin and stealing,
as they do,
stealing money to obviously support her drug habit.
Does she? How does one way? What is one way she steals money? Like, does she rob a bank, or does she like just like take it from people?
No. She just like goes to school pickup and like takes unattended credit cards like from people's purses, or like goes and steals mail from people. Sure. Gets their money and then she finds herself in prison. I'm not more than halfway through yet, so I don't know what the ending will be.
Sure.
But obviously she's written a book, so
still around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I am reading a historical fiction that takes place in the South during slavery, and it is called Let Us Descend.
Okay.
So both are very good, very different.
Do you have a hard time keeping your reading book and your audiobook separate? Or do you normally read two different books that are so different that it's a little easier to do that?
I used to worry a lot more about the difference, like making sure they were very different. But now I can keep them separate.
Okay.
Yeah. I think like for me at least, learning how to absorb and retain information from an audiobook was like a journey for me.
Oh, it's a skill. Like I didn't have it. I don't think I still have it. Unless the book captures my attention in the first like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is dumb. I don't know what I'm listening to.
Well, I think it is a skill. So I've kind of honed that skill.
Yeah. Or if you have a lot on your mind, because I found out that if I go on a walk and I am just thinking about the day or something, and then I was like, oh, I've had a book on this whole time.
This whole time.
What's going on? I was looking at the road and thinking about this and having to start it over.
So, again, we'll start our book podcast some other time. But
what would it be called? Just off the cuff.
It would be called Married and Booked.
Cool. Perfect.
Christian, what would you call it?
I would call it Scottsdale Blonde and Books.
Okay. And with that, guys, we will hope to see you again soon on here.
How about Read 'em and Weep?
Read 'em and weep.
Yeah. Do we just read sad books?
Oh.
And then review sad books. Have a book ever made you cry?
Yes.
Like, literally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not me.
Okay.
Have I ever made you cry? That might be a discussion for a different podcast.
Yeah, let's talk about that later.
We thank everybody for listening to our crazy show, as always. You know what? If you want to reach out to us and talk to us more about Apiary, like how you enjoying Apiary, what's your favorite...
Bee colony.
Yeah, or like the end of game, the gold hexes that give you the end of game bonuses. Some of those are really cool.
Yes.
So those are fun little things. Let us know what those are. Do you know what mask is? Definitely reach out to me, Christian, and fill us in with some book recommendations. And also, how are you guys selling your games?
Yeah, we've got a lot.
We got a lot
Keep
going on.
Keep the conversation going.
So let's just talk about Star Wars Unlimited, bees, books, Battlestar Galactica, beats, all these B words.
All of them.
We appreciate you listening. Angela, you want to say anything else before we head out?
Guys, we are like 2 or 3 followers away.
Come on.
On Instagram from 1,000. And we really want to give away a copy of a game that we have brand new. No spoilers.
It's like we do?
Yes. We've been storing it for quite a while.
Oh.
Here's the deal. It goes up to we've been as close as 999.
Have we been 1 away?
Yes.
Oh, guys.
And then it goes down 3, and then it goes up 2, and then it goes down 4. And it's like, come on, let's get to 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Don't make me ask my work people.
Yeah, come on, guys. All right. We hope you leave us a review on Apple, iTunes, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps people find us.
It does.
And, make it a positive review.
Yeah, if you leave a review, we will read it on air next time.
Oh, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Be yourself.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website where you can listen to podcast episodes and so much more. Find us at marriedandbored.com, or you can email us at hello@marriedandbored.com, or follow us on Instagram @marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time.